All right, I just got back from the Palace Theater, Palace 20, 6 o'clock showing of The Crow, the Bill Skarsgård version, and I absolutely loved it. I didn't think I was going to like it because they kept hiding the reviews and only released one trailer, and most of the people kept complaining about the makeup. And unfortunately, with The Crow, I'm going to go deeper into that, but I'm going to just jump to this movie in particular. I loved it. I just didn't like the music options. Beside that, I love the movie. You know, a lot of folks wanted to see full-blown action from, you know, the first 10 minutes of the movie to the end. And this movie is not that. At least the first 30 minutes of the movie is basically character development, and you get to see a lot. And quite frankly, to me only, I actually enjoy spending time with him and Shelley because we didn't have that in the first Crow with Brandon Lee. So, unfortunately for this movie, I somewhat agree with the other critics that this would have been a better Crow had the name not been Eric Draven. That's the biggest mistake I think that Rupert and Lionsgate made, was that they just decided to completely reimagine an already perfect movie with Brandon Lee. Outside of that, I still had a damn good time watching this one. I don't have the same sentimental attachment to the first Crow as everybody else do, even though I own the soundtrack, I own the graphic novel, and I met James O'Barr at Dragon Con in 1995 and had him sign my book and watch it, and he has a band. He has an actual rock band called Hear and Obey. So as far as me being one of the deep down nerds that love this shit, I'm one of them. And I can tell you from, you know, the mind of a nerd, I am one of the guys who just love movies and movie making. This movie was good. It was a different reimagining, but not a reboot, and I have absolutely no problem with it. For the most part, and I want you to hear me carefully if you got this far, the majority of the critics on YouTube are just looking to create content. That's it. Let's be very careful about that. I watched it with a critical eye, which I'm not a professional critic. I'm a regular person like you. I pay movies, go on Fandango, I order my ticket, I sit down, and I just appreciated it for what it is. Most of the people that's making all these, oh God, these gothic comments, and the unfortunate thing is the first Crow was literally designed around a soundtrack. So all the fans of Pantera, Stone Temple Pilots, my favorite song is Slip Slide Melting for Love Not Lisa. Okay, and maybe Color Me Once, Color Me Twice from the Violent Femmes. So the folks that love The Cure, Nine Inch Nails, Pantera for Love Not Lisa, Rage Against the Machine have an issue because they have a sentimental attachment to the first movie. This movie did not do that. Okay? And I'll give you my word. Had this movie been named The Crow Punishment, nobody would have an issue with it, which I somewhat agree with that sentiment. They had no business touching the Eric Draven story. Okay, because Bruce Lee's son did pass away during the creation of the 1994 Crow, why would you touch that? You follow me? Anybody, you could have easily made this, the Crow Punishment. It didn't have to be the Crow, the Eric Draven and Shelley story, which the chemistry between Eric and Shelley, I loved it. They did a damn good job of making you like him and her together. Okay, once it picks up with the action, it does pick up. As far as the face paint is concerned, I have literally no problem with his face paint, his face not being white. He doesn't look like the Joker to me because he ain't got green hair, he ain't got a purple suit, he ain't got a white face. So most of the dudes just like, dude, Jared Leto's Joker and shit, dude. That's just people want to sound cool. That's it. They want to sound cool. They want content. And since everybody is, unfortunately comparing this guy to like the Joker, why not jump on that bandwagon and get your channel some views? Okay? If it flops, it flops. These are all adults. They'll get over it. Now, the issue with the Crow, the first Crow, was that I wasn't really that impressed with Top Dollar. And I really wasn't that impressed, with the other villains, okay? Also, with the whole idea of the Crow is that every following subsequent Crow movie, the people who actually, portray the character of the Crow don't necessarily have to have face paint. I don't know what, just Eric Draven's character had that because of the mask in the mirror, okay, for the rock band, and the mask was the face paint was also in the comic book, but the movie that was with Brandon Lee was not as accurate to the comic book as people think. So I got the graphic novel. It was full of poetry, different little weird chapters about love and depression and, stuff like that, and inertia. Almost like how Quentin Tarantino might make a movie and it'll say book 1, chapter 2, book 3, stuff like that. So even in the original Crow with Brandon Lee, the Asian girl had superpowers. So she was doing witchcraft. Remember, they were burning like a human eye and all that kind of shit. And she was like, his key to the outside world is the bird. Kill the bird, you kill the man. So there was always a side of mysticism and spirituality, if you want to call it that, in the first original. So all this bullshit about, this villain has, mystical powers and we don't know where it comes from. All of that, to me, is explained in the movie. Okay? So all of these other critics lie and say the movie doesn't explain anything, because I sit there for the whole, the previews, the coming attractions, and I understood the whole assignment from the beginning to the end. I even understood Eric's, motivation for doing what he did. Anyway, guys, that's my quick take on the movie. I may not see it twice, because obviously I kind of know what the ending of the movie is. It's not like a Deadpool where it's gonna be cameos and Easter eggs, so you gotta watch it twice to catch all the Easter eggs. This is not one of those audience experiences. So anyway, give me a take. I mean, if you've seen the movie, let me know what you think in the comment section. That's the most I can give you. I don't have an actual YouTube critic channel, so I'm not going to say, like, share, and subscribe. That's just my reaction to all the other bullshit YouTubers that are out there just saying the movie was god awful and that they don't, develop the character. I mean, shit, they spent 30 minutes with Eric and Shelley. There were two, guys. A guy and a girl in a co-ed drug rehab, and they liked each other, and her reason for escaping was explained when they escaped. Anyway, guys, I'm out.